putting them on game, letting them know what's going on. Like, see, this was happening. Like, you feel me? I'm letting these guys know. So when it be like people saying they want to fight me, it's
like, how could you, nigga? I was the one that was giving you game when I was going through it.
There was some kind of crazy trash talk with Gervonta and Terrence Crawford recently. And one of the things that I've always kind of noticed,
Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather have decided to settle their rivalry in the ring, planning an exhibition fight once Davis steps away from boxing. This situation feels similar to the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul matchup, which didn't exactly excite fans. If history repeats itself, many may not be thrilled about this showdown. However, Mayweather has stayed more active than Tyson, regularly competing in exhibition bouts even after retiring.
When they came back and it was like, all right, you gotta fight. He was like, you gotta fight.
But Gervonta Davis might be too powerful and athletic for Floyd Mayweather to handle. While this may sound surprising, it's the latest twist in their rocky relationship, which took a bad turn last year. Recently, Davis opened up about some unusual things Mayweather did to him in the past, which finally pushed Mayweather to break his long silence. Instead of letting their feud drag on, they've chosen to settle it in a way that benefits both, by turning it into a lucrative fight.
He's still...
No, he's a legend. He's an icon. But it would be a big fight. But your boxing intelligence, Tank, if someone makes a mistake against you, it's over.
Yeah, but Leo. His arms long as hell. He's way taller than me.
With Gervonta Davis planning to step away from boxing, soon an exhibition fight seems more likely than ever. But how did they end up in this latest back and forth? Their feud became very public, but Davis moved past it, growing into a better fighter and an even bigger star both in the US and around the world. While speaking on the Mr. J. Hill podcast, Davis shared his side of the story about what went down with Mayweather.
Ooh, if you don't mind. If you don't want to, it's fine.
Joseph Pedraza, my first world title. I was 16-0. I was 21.
When you're around someone you look up to, like Mayweather, you start to see they're not who they claim to be. It's disappointing and it hurts, Davis shared. So, I just decided to go my own way and do my own thing. With Floyd, there were times he put me in situations where I couldn't win. Like my first world title fight against Jose Pedraza. At the time, I was only 21, hadn't fought in 6 or 8 months, and wasn't making much money, maybe $10,000 per fight. Then they told me I had to take the fight, and if I didn't, I'd be sidelined. I was struggling, got evicted, and had to sell my car. I'm sure Floyd did that on purpose.
And I haven't fought in like 7 or 8 months. And around that time, I wasn't making that much money. I probably was making like $10,000 a fight. So
I was just trying to warn other fighters so they wouldn't end up in the same situation, Davis explained. But now, when they say they want to fight me, it feels like a betrayal. He continued, I respect and appreciate what Floyd did for me. But honestly, he only gave me crumbs, like $10,000 or $15,000 to help my mom get out of the hood. That's not enough. In a few months, she'd be right back in the same situation, and I'd have to ask for more. That's when I realized some people keep you in a position where you always need them, only giving you just enough to stay dependent. When I was under the same management as Floyd, they started taking control of my career.
It's crazy to not fight. So when they came back and it was like...
Floyd Mayweather played a key role in shaping Gervonta Davis's career, guiding him to multiple world titles and helping him become one of boxing's most electrifying fighters. However, their partnership ended in 2022, and things have only gotten more heated since, with both exchanging harsh words over the years. Now, Davis has come forward with a shocking claim. Mayweather once put him in a fight expecting him to lose. Speaking on the J. Hill podcast, he detailed exactly how it happened.
A fight, he was like, you gotta fight this fighter, which is Joseph Pedraza. If you don't fight him, you're not fighting. You sitting on.
It's never good to hear stories like this, but at least Gervonta Davis has finally opened up about his experiences with Mayweather and his promotional team. If these claims are true, it's a disappointing look for Mayweather. However, it's surprising that Davis never spoke about this before. Initially, his main issue seemed to be Mayweather criticizing him for flaunting his wealth, a claim Mayweather later denied. The two once had a close relationship, with Mayweather guiding Davis and helping shape him into a superstar. At one point, their bond was that of a mentor and protege.
He got upset the wrong.
However, last April, just days after the big fight between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, Mayweather went on a rant aimed at a group of unnamed boxers. He criticized them for not taking the sport seriously and focusing more on their image than their skills in the ring. Pretty boy Floyd then pointed to his own career as an example, arguing that many look up to the success he achieved, but fail to recognize the hard work and dedication it took to get there.
Looking at the end, y'all looking at the end results. Y'all not looking at the shit where y'all go look at the interview and Zab gonna tell y'all, with me being champion.
A lot of these fighters are only looking at the flashy side of things, Mayweather said. They see the cars, the jewelry, the lifestyle, but they don't see the sacrifices I made to get there. They're focused on the end result, but even when I had hundreds of millions in the bank as a champion, I was still grinding in the gym. Meanwhile, they're more concerned about their outfits and how their boots look instead of what really matters. That's why a lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck. Later, when asked about the purpose of his message, Mayweather addressed Gervonta Davis first.
Is ungrateful when it comes to you?
Well, my thing is, I've always been there for.
My thing is, I've always been there for him since day one, Mayweather said. We had a game plan, and my goal was to help him become a world champion and take his career to the next level. I've always supported him, always stayed positive, and always spoken highly of him. I pushed him to be great. But over the years, he keeps going online and taking shots at me, constantly being disrespectful, even though all I ever did was try to help him reach his full potential.
And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great.
He then brought up the well-known video where Gervonta Davis accused him of sending someone to attack him. Mayweather denied the accusation and clarified his intentions, saying, "People always like to compare fighters, and when I speak on certain things, they say, 'Oh, he's hating.' But it's no different from when I talked about the situation with Davis.
I need all fighters. I said I need all the young fighters that's making money in the sport of boxing. What I need you guys to do is do this."
For example, when I said I want all the young fighters making money in boxing to be smart with it, I meant they should invest in real estate so they can maintain a great life after their careers are over. But I guess he took it personally, like he's the only one wearing Chrome Hearts Louis Vuitton or driving a Mercedes. Last I checked, fighters all over the world wear designer clothes, and even those who don't make big money still find ways to fly on private jets and drive luxury cars.
Whether it's Chrome Heart, Gucci, Louis, Mercedes, we need to take our money and invest in real estate so that we can live that same great life when our careers are over.
However, Mayweather still had some positive things to say about Davis. When asked about the top 5 fighters in the lightweight division, he responded, "Right now, the biggest puncher at 135 is probably Gervonta Davis. But the most skillful fighter, hands down, is Shakur Stevenson."
He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is...
Talking about Shakur Stevenson, Mayweather compared his skill to that of Pernell Whitaker, noting that while Whitaker wasn't the hardest puncher, his technique allowed him to compete with and outclass top fighters. I believe Shakur's contract is coming to an end, so hopefully, we can work together, and I can help take him to the next level while making the big fights he wants, Mayweather said. His growing relationship with Stevenson has been cited as one of the key reasons behind his feud with Gervonta Davis.
So hopefully we can come together and I could take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want, and make the fights happen that he want.
In fact, Mayweather recently showed up at Shakur Stevenson's training camp, and what made it even more interesting was the presence of Eddie Hearn, who was also there to support Stevenson. It turned into a gathering of some of the biggest names in boxing. They say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But in today's world, with so many witnesses, especially when celebrities are involved, it's nearly impossible to keep things under wraps. Adding Floyd Mayweather's name to the mix makes it even harder to hide. A recent meeting between Mayweather and top promoter Eddie Hearn at a gym in Las Vegas drew plenty of attention. While their exchange was filled with playful banter, it didn't stop them from taking subtle shots at each other.
So one day, somebody asked, because I don't have social media on my phone. Yeah. So they showed me Eddie. Eddie was like, Floyd Mayweather ain't got no money.
It's worth noting that Eddie Hearn has repeatedly claimed in various interviews that Floyd Mayweather doesn't have as much money as he says he does. According to Hearn, this is why Mayweather continues to seek out exhibition fights. However, during his legendary boxing career, Mayweather earned over $1.2 billion, with massive paydays from fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. Reports suggest that his current net worth sits around $400 million, allowing him to maintain his extravagant lifestyle even after retiring from professional boxing in 2017. Since then, Mayweather has taken part in a series of lucrative exhibition bouts, facing opponents like Logan Paul and Deji.
Exhibition. No, Eddie don't believe that now.
Yeah. But Eddie will say some shit like that. Now.
Eddie will say some shit, but no. But one thing.
Mayweather has repeatedly claimed that he earns 8-figure paydays from each of his exhibition fights, even referring to them as legalized bank robberies. However, he has also explained that his reason for taking part in these showman-style events is to continue building generational wealth. Despite this, Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has suggested in multiple interviews that Mayweather's actual net worth may not be as high as many believe due to his lavish spending habits. Hearn stated, "I don't think he's got the money he says he has. That's just my opinion. I don't think he needs the money, but when you're spending at the level he is, it's a different story."
What about that? But me and Eddie got it clear. Didn't we, Eddie? Yeah. One thing, me and my buddy got it clear.
We said as long as it's 10 or 20, no problem. Anything.
Mayweather and Hearn's ongoing banter reached its peak when the two ran into each other in Las Vegas. The undefeated former champion confronted Hearn about his comments regarding his finances. Mayweather claimed that Hearn often makes such remarks, but they had already addressed the issue in private. Despite that, they decided to joke about it, playfully exchanging words while their respective entourages laughed and cheered. The encounter took place in a boxing gym as both were in town for the fight between Diego Pacheco and Steve Nelson. Watching some sparring, Mayweather jokingly brought up the situation, saying, "So one day, somebody told me, because, you know, I don't have social media on my phone. They showed me Eddie."
Can't be less than 10. Because then we're struggling for money.
I had to show Eddie some of that account. Eddie.
Mayweather continued, recalling the moment. Eddie was like, "Floyd Mayweather Jr. ain't got no money. That's why he's doing exhibitions." With a smug grin, he added, "Eddie doesn't really believe that. I know he says stuff like that, but me and Eddie got it clear." Both men shared a laugh, shaking hands as Hearn playfully responded, "Yeah, as long as it's 10 or 20, there's no problem. Anything less, it can't be less than 10. The joke sent Mayweather into a burst of laughter alongside a member of his team, making it obvious that there were no hard feelings between them.
Imagine how much money Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Mayweather Jr. went on to mention that he had even shown his bank accounts to Hearn, proving his financial stability. "Listen, I had to show Eddie some of my accounts," Mayweather clarified. Hearn then jokingly concluded, "Imagine how much Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter. You know what I'm saying?" Clearly, Mayweather is far from short on cash, and his extravagant spending habits back that up. In recent months, the boxing legend has heavily invested in real estate, including his biggest ever purchase, a $42 million acquisition of multiple apartment blocks.
Bringing people into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased...
They say many a true word is spoken in jest, but in reality, that doesn't apply to Mayweather, who remains one of the richest former athletes in the world. While it's unclear if he has more exhibition fights lined up, he continues to be linked to lucrative return bouts. Hearn never had the chance to promote Mayweather, but given the star power of the undefeated boxing icon, he likely wishes he had.
62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings.
Another ongoing debate in the boxing world is whether Floyd Mayweather is insecure about Gervonta Davis's success and whether he wants to prevent Tank from reaching all-time great status. This discussion ties into the larger, never-ending debate about boxing's greatest of all time. Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather Jr. are two legendary figures who left an undeniable mark on the sport. Both are widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound fighters of their respective eras, fueling endless debates about who truly deserves the title of the greatest of all time.
Thing a person does is stay undefeated that long, so I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter of all time? Nah.
Mayweather, with his flawless 50-0 record, is often regarded as the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history. His impenetrable defense, ring intelligence, and ability to dictate the pace of a fight made him a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Beyond his dominance in the ring, his career was a commercial juggernaut, with 4 of the 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events in boxing history tied to his name. However, not everyone shares the view that Mayweather is the greatest of all time. Roy Jones Jr., an undisputed champion across 4 weight classes, holds a different stance. In an interview with Real Life Productions, when asked if he considered Mayweather the GOAT, Jones Jr. gave a direct and resounding response: no. Known for his slick yet punishing fighting style, Jones Jr. made history as the first boxer in over a century to win world titles from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight. Throughout his illustrious career, he captured championships in 4 divisions, defeating elite names such as James Toney, Bernard Hopkins, and Antonio Tarver, all while showcasing an electrifying, fan-favorite style.
Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got to 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died.
Mayweather famously ended his career with a flawless 50-0 record, capturing world titles across 5 weight divisions and showcasing a defensive mastery that is often regarded as the best in boxing history. Beyond his dominance in the ring, he became one of the sport's most lucrative attractions, headlining 4 of the top 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events. When speaking to Real Life Productions, Roy Jones Jr. was asked if Mayweather's perfect record made him the greatest of all time. Without hesitation, Jones responded, no. He elaborated by pointing to other legendary careers, saying, you have to respect what he did to stay undefeated that long, and I do respect it, to a degree. But does a 50-0 record make him the greatest fighter of all time? Nah. Jones then referenced Julio Cesar Chavez, who once had an astonishing 87-0 record before suffering his first defeat. Are you ever going to top that? No. He just didn't stop. Floyd got to 50-0 and stopped because of Rocky Marciano. Rocky died. If he wouldn't have died, he probably would have kept going too.
If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So and then at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I respect that? Yeah. You feel me? Right. So, I mean, I love Floyd, don't get it wrong, I'm not hating on Floyd, but come on, bro, you fight a guy that's 0-0.
Jones specifically criticized Mayweather's final fight, a 10th round stoppage against UFC superstar Conor McGregor, who was making his professional boxing debut. For Jones, this choice of opponent did little to bolster Mayweather's claim as the greatest of all time. Ultimately, the debate over boxing's true GOAT remains unsettled, fueled by the unique accomplishments and philosophies of the sport's biggest icons. When Mayweather was asked about Jones Jr.'s assertion that he deserved to be called the best ever, TB, more than anyone else, he responded diplomatically. Well, for starters, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm glad Roy Jones feels that way about himself, Mayweather said. Every fighter who gave their whole life to the sport and sacrificed so much inside that squared circle should feel that way. So if he feels that way, more power to him.
Gave the sport of boxing their whole life and sacrificed a lot inside that square circle. They should feel that way. So if he feels that way, more power to him.
Mayweather addressed the catchweight controversy surrounding his fight with Canelo Alvarez, clarifying that it wasn't his idea. Anyone can go online and pull this up. It was in an article, he explained. He recalled that at one point, Canelo seemed to believe Mayweather was afraid to fight him. Canelo said, Floyd doesn't want to fight me. I'm willing to meet him at 152 or 152 and a half, Mayweather recounted. So I called his bluff and said, if you want to do it, let's do it at 152. Mayweather then pointed out that despite making the agreed weight, Canelo had no restrictions on how much he could rehydrate after the weigh-in. He weighed in at 152 or 152 and a half, but by fight night, he was around 168 or close to 170. Meanwhile, I came in at 151 or 152.
Booth time to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
Mayweather acknowledged Roy Jones Jr.'s greatness, stating, "Roy Jones is one hell of a fighter. He's done a lot for the sport of boxing, and I'm absolutely proud of him." That wraps up this update. For the latest news, moments, events, and action in the boxing world, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on quality content. Until next time, peace out.